We've touched on it a few times, but I see comments the whole time to the episodes that we have about the trust. Like everyone is, how can I create a trust? How can I do a trust? And I mean, it's not as we say. There was a lot of different companies out there charging a fortune to do this. Sometimes people think they need to go to the high end solicitors to create the trust, but for those that are trying to protect their assets, is it you're creating a document yourself and you're stating that I, Roy, my assets, and you get a witness and you don't even need to notarize it, and that becomes the trust. So when they're looking for the documentation with probate, you're just going, this is what I got, and go away with your probate shit and stop taking my money for a year and a half as if like it's yours.
Yeah, you see, this is the thing, right? And what I do is I blame 100%, unequivocally blame this so-called truth community, right? Because you've got people that are in it that are just there and they're just lying. They are lying completely and just draining people's finances off them, no matter what you want to call it. It might only be fiat currency, but it's quite handy when you want to buy some food, and you know what I mean. So, but like, there's so many different sets of case laws that cover this, and I cover it in great detail, and I purposely go into depth. Now, right, first of all, most of the countries that we're talking about are of a common law jurisdiction. Okay, that is the jurisdiction. This people get. That's why I'd rather say what you're saying. What not you, but like people that's come and say, "Oh, do no harm," do not steal. That's natural law. That is not common law. Common law is the jurisdiction that we live in. So that any jurisdiction that is common law, which is like obviously the United States is huge. Then you've got all of Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. There's massive amounts of places that cover this. Europe, most of Europe is actually civil jurisdiction, not common law jurisdiction. So people need to make sure. However, if you're in the EU signed a treaty, not the Hague Treaty, by the way. People, there's two different treaties here. And they said if you want to be in the EU, this is quite funny, really. You have to follow English trust law and you have to accept English trust law if you are in the EU, right? Now, UK and England not even in the EU, but they are really, and if you look at Article 49 and Article 63 of the EU treaty, there's no way in the world they can ever get out of it. And they're so tied in financially and everything, and it goes back to the oligarchy. If you've got money, doesn't matter what the treaties say, right? They do and say whatever they want, right? It's the ones that haven't got the money. The poor are the ones that are affected by the legislation. But anyway, on a trust, one of the ones that I always like throw straight at people when they say, no, this trust is rubbish because you haven't written it outright.